check with Butler. What we try to on the reality check is to bring you information, make you an informed decision. People are calling President Trump a racist, an admitted and an avowed white nationalist, and nothing could be further from the truth.
Okay, welcome back to the Reality Check with Charles Butler here on Red State Talk Radio. I tell you, we are going to have a great show today. We're going to have Mr. Larry Ward join us from Political Media. You've heard of Political Media. They're a great organization representing major clients out there on the conservative side. They're from a New York communications background. He's represented folks like Dick Morris. You know, Dick got in a little trouble with Bill Clinton and then became a great conservative pundit. Anyway, love this stuff. Love this. You can't make this stuff up. I always say that reality is far more interesting than the hype, than the hype of the media, you know, the things that we try to make up in the media. No, this is real. And we're going to keep it real here at the Reality Check with Charles Butler. You know, a couple of things that when I was out here prepping for the show, I ran across. There was a man in Bessemer, Alabama. I don't know if many of you know where Bessemer is, but Bessemer, Alabama is about mid what do you call it? Alabama, okay, mid-state. And I'm sitting here reading this story of this young man who was about 18, 19 years old, stole $50 from a bakery. Stole $50 from a bakery, and they gave him life in prison. He stole $50 from a bakery, $50 from a bakery. They gave the man life in prison. How callous can white people be? How inhumane can these white people be? And the reason I say white people is because these are white people who are handing out this kind of time, handing out this kind of punishment. This is medieval. This is unconscionable, and it's certainly not Christian-like. And if anyone knows anything about me, you know, I am all about locking up black criminals who commit offenses, who break the law. So it's not like I'm saying, oh, woe is me. Oh, woe is this black man. He's been unfairly framed, but life in prison for stealing $50. Life in prison for stealing $50. Are you listening to me? Life in prison for stealing $50. There are people who've stolen $500 million and not gotten life in prison. Look at Madoff. I mean, look at the banking moguls who stole money on Wall Street, who Barack Obama bailed out and made them whole while raping working class Americans. Yeah, that's what I said. And I meant it too. Worst president we ever had. Barack insane Obama. Anyway, this poor man, and this story, if you'd like to read more about it, the story is in the Washington Post, and it just caught me, and it caught me so off guard, and it caught me because, you know, I could see the guy getting a couple of years in prison or jail, you know, a year, $50, okay, year, life. He's been in jail for 35 years. They're just letting him out. 35 years. He went to jail, I think the article said in 1989 or something like that. Horrible. 35 years this man was in jail. Life in prison for stealing $50. The fact that someone could do something to someone like that, I think they need to burn in hell. Yes, that's exactly what I said. No, I don't forgive them. No, I'm not. I don't think it was a mistake. They're racist, evil people. They're part of Satan's brigade. Whoa. Amazing. Bessemer, Alabama. I don't know. I'm looking for the story again. Bessemer, Alabama. Man gets 35 years in prison. Man, I tell you, and it's amazing that these people, and they have the nerve to think that they're human. They have the nerve to think that they're civilized. They have the nerve to think that they're decent people. They're going to burn in hell. They're going to burn in hell. I got news for you. You people who sentenced this boy to 35 years in prison for stealing $50, you're going to burn in hell. All of you. 3 decades in prison for stealing $50 from a bakery. It's not Charles, but you know, when you type it in, I just mentioned Washington Post, but this story is all over the media. It's in at al.com, News Birmingham, patch.com, WTSP. I guess that's a local Alabama station. 5 hours ago, it was talked about. He served 36 years, according to them. Spent 3 decades in jail for stealing $50 under the 3 strikes law. Joe Biden's law, folks. Joe Biden's law. 3 strikes. He's very proud of that. And also, he was very proud of the crack cocaine. We're putting people away who are violent abusers and the crack cocaine syndrome. We're putting those evil black people in prison for life and getting them off the streets. Joe Biden said that, not me. A little thirsty today, so I'm drinking a little Verner's. Those of you who know anything about Detroit know about Verner's ginger ale. Best ginger ale in the world. But this young man, again, my heart goes out to him. I'm glad that God helped him to get out of jail. His name is Alvin Kennard. Alvin Kennard spent 35 years in prison. Boy. Heartless. But if you think that's heartless, if you think that's heartless, I'm going to direct you to another story that will even shock you. I think will shock you even more. And you're going to say, what could possibly be worse, Charles, than the story you just told about this black man being locked up for 35 years for stealing $50? Well, I'm going to tell you. Let me tell you. A woman was forced to give birth in her cell by herself in Denver in a jail. She was forced to give birth in a jail cell by herself. This is in Washington Post also. Washington Post was rolling this morning. I told you, I usually get up, I read Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Washington Post, a couple of European papers, and call it a day. Go out and visit some of the websites. Man, I am really thirsty today for some reason. Anyway, this woman, it's not funny. Her name is Diane Sanchez. She screamed. She withered on a small bed inside her jail cell in Denver County Jail. She gave birth to a baby by herself. And she said the thing that hurt her most was that no one cared. No one came to her aid. No one came to see why she was yelling and screaming. But the lawsuit alleges that instead of uh, 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 dealing with the contractions that Miss Sanchez was having, the jail staff chose to ignore her pleas, her concerns, her crying out. So the suit alleges this, that instead of ensuring Miss Sanchez was able to give birth in a safe and sanitary medical setting, nurses and deputies callously made her labor alone for hours, forcing her to endure a horrific experience. She said the pain was indescribable. Oh, you wuss, you little wuss, you, Diane Sanchez. Having a baby is no big. I'm just kidding. Having a baby is a big deal. She said, and what hurts more is the fact that nobody cares. She could have died. What if she'd had complications in childbirth? What if she'd had complications where the umbilical cord was wrapped around the baby's neck? That's common. Not a big deal because you have somebody there to unwrap it, but this woman delivered all by herself. Diane Sanchez is her name. Look it up. Denver, Colorado. So we go from a man being in jail, incarcerated for 35 years, for stealing $50. $50. His life is taken away. His youth is taken away. And all people have to say is, well, we're sorry that we had these people who were blind to justice, and no, their asses need to burn in hell. And they will. Believe me. So, Diane Sanchez, I'm glad you made it. Your baby made it. Don't know why you were in jail, but I'm sure you won't be going back anytime soon. Now, I want to add this to Diane Sanchez's story. The lawsuit named a city, count in the county of Denver Health Medical Center, and 6 individuals as defendants. And this comes months after an internal investigation conducted by the Denver Sheriff Department, and they cleared its deputies of wrongdoing. As a result, that left Sanchez's attorney, a guy named Mel Newman, profoundly disappointed. They found no wrongdoing. This woman gives birth. She labors for hours by herself and gives birth alone, and they find no wrongdoing. People need to go to jail. And people need to burn in hell. Boy, I tell you. How heartless can people be? I mean, really, Jesus. These are supposed to be our first responders, our people who are not racist, our people who care about others. Well, they didn't show too much care for Miss Sanchez. She, they said she, poor girl, she ended up with a hell of an experience, man. Hell of an experience. That's all I can say. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to let this this desk back down. Okay, then we'll lock it. All right, cool. So Now, those are just a couple of things I wanted to cover. Another, and we're going to have Larry Ward come on, like I said, in a little while. He'll be here. He and I talk about what's going on. The latest 2020 Democratic presidential primary polls. Well, we know that Gabbard has dropped out, and she's going to take her $900,000 and give to charity and donate to other campaigns, supposedly. But right now, we look at the Quinnipiac poll. You have Biden at 32, Sanders at 15, Elizabeth Warren at 19, Harris at 7, Mayor Scott at 5, Wang is at 3, Booker is at 1, O'Rourke's at 1, Gabbard, she's at 1, she dropped out, like I said, Castro 0, Klobuchar 1, Bullock 1, and Williamson 1. Never heard of those Bullock and Williamson. Quinnipiac. USA Today Suffolk poll. Biden's at 32 still. Sanders is at 12. Warren's at 15. Harris at 6. Buttigieg is at 6. Wang at 3. Booker 2. O'Rourke 2. Gabbard 0. Castro 1. Then we switch to economics and YouGov. Biden's at 25. Sanders at 14. Warren's at 21. Harris at 8. Buttigieg is at 5. So that was yesterday. And polls haven't changed much. You got Politico on Tuesday saying that Biden was at 33. Sanders is at 20. Warren's at 15. Harris at 8. Buttigieg at 5. So, hey, that's the way it rolls. But Uncle Joe, it's not going to do much. Uncle Joe, if he comes out of this, he's going to get trounced by Trump. Trump's going to run over him like a steam train, man. Zoom. What's the latest gaffe? Anybody at the latest gaffe on old Uncle Joe? Yeah, old Uncle Joe. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to turn on the open up the lines. 215-867-8255. It's 215-867-8255. Let me do like a Rush Limbaugh, pull out my cigar, start smoking. I love doing that, especially on air. Oh, my girl is back at it again. Ann Coulter. You have to love Ann. She never quits. Ann is like the Energizer Bunny. She's steadily hammering at everything. She never stops. Wow. So Ann does this thing, and this is really good, though. She's talking about how these Mexicans and why Mexicans and Latino men have so many drunk driving charges. And they have this thing they call, what do they call it? This machismo BS. I call it that fake machismo, that fake Mexican machismo. And, because see, our American Latinos are serious people. They're serious Americans. They don't buy into that part of that cultural BS that I'm a man, I got to drink crap. So Ann says, first, remember to watch out for drunk driving illegal aliens over the Labor Day weekend. She said, that's what she says. She says, could I get that illegal to go? To go where? But she says, as we head into a long Labor Day weekend, there are two tips to make your holiday even more cheerful. First, remember to watch out for drunk driving illegal aliens. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, has issued report after report showing that Hispanics are widely overrepresented in drunk driving accidents. but it also contributes much to our cultural life, musical heritage, and landscape. Or, or as Post puts it, Latinos at greater risk of dying from driving while intoxicated. They're victims of the drunk driving epidemic. German concentration camps guards at greater risk of dying from accidental inhalation of Xylon B. Ooh. So, one NHTSA report elaborated on the inebriated Latino driver, and it said this: the authors found that some Latino parents actively promoted drinking among their sons as a sign of masculinity or machismo. I call it that fake machismo. A focus group indicated drinking among Hispanics might be motivated by the need to prove their manhood within the Latino culture. Everyone thinks they can handle alcohol, especially men. A lot of Hispanics think that way. It's the macho male, and the woman gives in to the man. Machismo causes the behavior. Well, they have another behavior, man. It's called being locked up. Because you will get locked up drunk driving, okay? This report went on to say that Mexican American DWI offenders vastly overestimated the number of drinks required to make them unsafe drivers, 8 to 10 drinks. See, I know I can handle 2, maybe 3, and I'm done. So if anybody tells you they saw Charles Butler arrested for a DUI, that's a damn lie. Because I never have more than 2 drinks, 2 glasses of wine when I'm out and about. That's just a habit. It's clear if the NHTSA's methodology took into account the effects of Cinco de Mayo. Naturally, it would be outrageous to conclude from this that drunk driving is a national sport. It's the national sport of Mexico. However, last year alone, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, better known as ICE, deported 80,730 illegals who had drunk driving offenses. These were Mexicans. The majority of them were Mexicans. The Houston Chronicle delicately put it a few years ago: young Hispanic men are not getting the message about drinking and driving, crashing, burning, their ashes being spread across the Sierra Nevada. Thanks to its proximity to Mexico, Texas leads the nation in fatal drunk driving accidents, including those involving a blood alcohol content of 0. Wow. Okay. Young Latinos are responsible for about a third of all DUI accidents in Houston, while they only make up 8% of the population. Larry O'Donnell sneered at President Trump last June 2018 when his meeting with families of Americans killed by illegals, saying that most of the dead children were killed in traffic accidents, if that didn't count. They were killed in traffic accidents by illegals. Hello. It's amazing, man. These liberals have lost their damn minds. And that's why we have to keep rolling. That's why we have to keep doing what we do. That's why we have to keep talking about these things on the reality check. We need to let people know what's going on and how we need to turn it around. That's what I say. So look, we're going to turn a couple of things around. We're going to get ready for Larry Ward to come and talk to us about what they're doing over at Political Media. So we'll be right back after this short interlude.
Hey, this is Leonora Cravota from Red State Talk Radio for My Pillow. I used to have trouble sleeping. My Pillow changed all that. I now fall asleep within moments of my head touching my pillow. That's how comfortable My Pillow is with its patented interlocking fill. My Pillow stays cool and does not go flat. Plus, it's machine washable and dryable. My Pillow has a comfort guarantee. My Pillow is also the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation, and it's made right here in the premium standard or queen pillows and 2 go anywhere pillows. That's 4 pillows for the price of 1. To take advantage of this special offer, call 1-800-961-9194 and ask for promo code REDSTATE. That's 1-800-961-9194. Promo code REDSTATE. Put sleepless nights behind you with My Pillow, the most comfortable pillow you will ever own. For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Kim Moline, co-owner of the Wingstop restaurants in Lansing and South Holland.
Hey, Tom, I've got to be honest. Although I was unhappy with our old payroll company, I was pretty apprehensive about transitioning to a new one. When it comes to payroll, delays and lost data are really unacceptable. But I'm happy to say your staff really made it easy for us and the transition smoother. And now, as we consider taking advantage of some of the other services you offer, well, let's just say that next time we won't be so chicken.
Thanks, Kim. Just call me at 632-1507. That's 630-242-1507. Or check us out at the web at precisionpayroll.com. That's precisionpayroll.com. Kim Moline, co-owner of the Wingstop restaurants in Lansing and South Holland.
Hey, Tom, I've got to be honest. Although I was unhappy with our old payroll company, I was pretty apprehensive about transitioning to a new one. When it comes to payroll, delays and lost data are really unacceptable. But I'm happy to say your staff really made it easy for us and the transition couldn't have been smoother. And now, as we consider taking advantage of some of the other services you offer, well, let's just say that next time we won't.
That's 630-21507. Or check us out at the web at precisionpayroll.com. That's precisionpayroll.com.
Red State Talk Radio is now available as a voice command on your Amazon Echo and Echo Dot by simply saying, Alexa, play Red State Talk Radio.
Red State Talk Radio on TuneIn.
Concern to every single American. Now, we've been hearing all these stories about sanctuary cities that...
You can now find us on the Amazon Echo and Echo Dot, on TuneIn, on iHeartRadio, and we also have the phone apps in the App Store for your particular phone. And just in case we activated your Echo Dot, Alexa, stop.
Okay, we're back and back in the saddle. We'll turn this down a little bit. Okay, great. We're back and wanted to read a little pitch, something that we have to do here. It says, of course, I'm Charles Butler, and I'm the host of the Reality Check with Charles Butler here at Red State Talk Radio. It's estimated that there will be 1,735,350 new cases of cancer diagnosed in the United States. Now, this can be emotionally devastating and financially overwhelming. So, let me give you a typical example of how these bills amount. The average cancer treatment is about $157,000. The insurance company steps in and picks up 60% of that, leaving the patient with a $63,000 bill. Cancer insurance policies, typical cancer insurance policies, issue anywhere from a $10,000 lump sum payment to $100,000 lump sum payment, depending on the benefit, which is quite expensive once you start talking over $20,000. Now, my insurance policy, the insurance policy that we sell in supporting Susan G. Gorman, we pay up to $250,000 for breast cancer benefits and half that for other cancers, and starting as low as $21 a month. I will be giving you the numbers to call to check on that, to find out about that. So stand by. Okay. The reality check. Wow. That is reality. Man, that cancer does not play. It does not play. The Joe Walsh, my good buddy Joe Walsh. Joe is such a character. I've known Joe Walsh since he ran for office. When was Joe running for? He ran for office. I think it was 2010, 2008 maybe. But Joe's an interesting guy. I just don't see him. I don't see him taking out President Trump. I don't understand why he's gone after President Trump, but it won't work. We love President Trump. I can tell you, I love what the guy's doing. And I like the way that he's doing it. I don't care that he's pissing people off, especially our European friends who are wusses. I am tired of wussy men.
I helped create Trump.
That's Joe Walsh. Joe Walsh said, I helped create Trump. Listen to it.
I helped create Trump. And George, that's not an easy thing to say.
That's when he was on George Stephanopoulos this past weekend. I mean, really? That's not an easy thing to say? You weren't saying it when you had your head all up Trump's behind, because all of your supporters and the people who are underwriting your show are Trump supporters.
Conservative radio talk show host and former Congressman Joe Walsh is the latest Republican to announce a primary challenge to Donald Trump.
We have someone in the White House who we all know is unfit. Someone who lies virtually every time he opens his mouth.
He joins former Massachusetts Governor William Weld, who announced his challenge in April, promising to restore fiscal discipline to Washington.
They're spending money in Washington like drunken sailors.
Delivering a similar message, former South Carolina Republican Congressman Mark Sanford.
Now, how does Mark Sanford think he's going to get any national traction? Here's a man who got busted cheating on his wife with some Indian babe. I'm serious, man. Look him up. Mark Sanford got busted as governor, had to step down as governor for cheating on his wife. And Weld, whoever heard of Weld? What the hell has Weld ever done? So you have all these nobodies challenging the president, trying to be somebody. Interesting.
He says he'll decide whether to primary Trump around Labor Day. He will attend a Vice President Pence event in South Carolina tonight.
I believe we're about to go over a cliff that would cause a whole world of hurt to folks here and now, as well as our kids coming down the line.
Right. But what are you going to do to help? And the question is, he can't do anything. He's not going to do anything. Nobody's going to outdo Trump. Trump's done a good job. He's focused on the things we need to focus on. And this tariff's good. That's what we need to do to get back in the game, to defeat China. You know what? One of the stories I ran across out there was pretty interesting. Was this story about a professor who was denied? They tried to deny her the ability to read the pledge or say the Pledge of Allegiance at the opening of a meeting, town hall meeting. I mean, these people have lost their damn mind, these damn liberals. Who in the hell do they think if they don't like America, then leave, damn it. The anti-war protesters want them to leave and make more room for us, make more room for me. I wouldn't have to compete with their thieving, lying, cowardice behinds. Because, see, they got jobs while veterans were denied jobs. Oh, you're an anti-war pro? Oh, well, we'll just have to. You're one of us. I tell you, this country's gone to hell in a handbasket. Listen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands.
See, she has the right under this law called the Brown Act to speak in public without being interrupted. Now, why people won't deal with that, I don't know. You know, she is it within her rights to do that. And then she talked about how people came to her rescue after she was attacked. How, because they have a strong veteran community in Santa Barbara, California. By the way, I'm sorry, it's in Santa Barbara, California. I should have told you that. That does make a little difference. Not much. But so this is how it kind of played out. She gave an explanation of what she expected. This is how it played out. Listen.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to come back on Fox and Friends. I'm really grateful for that. But what brought us to this point is the college thus far has refused to acknowledge that my civil rights were violated that day and that nobody stood up to defend me and, more importantly, to defend the First Amendment of the Constitution.
Right. The Brown Act says you should remove those individuals if they're doing that. And was one of these individuals another professor?
Yes, she was. I don't know her personally. She is a professor in the chemistry department. And she just started yelling, screaming within about 30 minutes of me standing up there, simply explaining why I wanted the Pledge of Allegiance.
She meant 30 seconds of her standing up there.
Reinstated. I wanted the right to say the pledge at a public meeting.
And that's all we ask for is the right to exercise our given rights as citizens, our given rights. You know, we're not trying to invade anyone else's rights. We're not trying to suppress anyone else from what they believe. But liberals are always trying to do that to us. The question becomes why? It's amazing, isn't it? Wow. It's, and, you know, one of the things that, you know, folks like Bill Maher said, hey, I want a recession. I want a recession so we can defeat President Trump. That's the only way to defeat President Trump is if we have a recession. And yes, it may hurt some people, but that's what well, it won't hurt Bill Maher. Recession won't hurt Bill Maher with his little pump behind. He's, you know, he's a multimillionaire. He lives in a nice place out in California. You know, not going to hurt him. Not going to hurt him at all. But it would hurt some other folks. So here we go. Let's play Bill Maher talking about how we need a recession to defeat President Trump.
Yes, a recession would be very worth getting rid of Donald Trump and these kind of policies. You know,
so the market bouncing back today after Friday's 600-point drop in the Dow. My next guest says that he believes that Democrats are rooting for a recession because they want President Trump to lose.
Yeah, they are. And her next guest was a good friend of mine, Steve Moore. I'm going to get Steve on live. This is a tape of Steve, but this is what Steve had to say about those comments from Bill Maher.
Yeah, by the way, it's easy for Bill Maher to say he'd love to see a recession. I mean, he makes, what, $20-30 million a year, so he could withstand that. But, you know, what I was saying in my column this week is that I was out in San Francisco and giving a talk to a bunch of financial advisors, and a woman asked me, do you think we're going to have a recession? And I said, well, I'd never say never, but I said, I think the economy is pretty fundamentally strong, and I don't see one on the horizon. And the people kind of grimaced when I said that. And one woman said, I want a recession because that'll help get rid of Donald Trump. And that, I think that's, most liberals won't admit that. But when you see what's happened with the media coverage of the economy, Martha, over the last 10 to 14 days, it's, you know, the new R word isn't racism for now, it's recession. And yet you look at the fundamentals of the American economy, Martha, I mean, my goodness, we have the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years, the lowest inflation rate in 50 years, the lowest interest rates in 50 years, wage gains that have been larger under Trump than we've seen in 20 years. This is probably the best economy for workers we've seen. It's a very strong economy. And all this recession talk, I think, is wishful thinking by liberals who want to get rid of Trump.
What about all the...
Well, this is good. See, this is good. You can't make this stuff up. And I say this all the time, that facts are far more interesting than the facts are far more interesting than fiction. I'm sorry about that. I had my phone off for some reason. Let me see if it was still recording. No, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it did, but it's real low. Okay, I got it. All right, so here we go. So some questions came in on my YouTube. It says, from Robert Watches, didn't only one person go to jail for the 2008 collapse? The stream is down on Facebook. I put it back up. It says it's up here. Okay, so Robert, to answer your question, I don't know how many people went to jail in the 28 collapse, but let's see. Let's go out here and do a Google search real quick. 2008 collapse, how many people went to jail? In the bank collapse, how many people went to jail? Bailout, yeah. How many people went to jail? I don't remember anybody going to jail, really. And one person is certainly was a fall guy because it was all of them in cahoots, all the big bankers, including the Secretary of Treasury. Let's see. Why did no one go to jail in the financial crisis? Like I said, I didn't see. No one went to jail. Who went to jail in the financial crisis? Let's see. Former Swiss bank trader Kareem Senadinga was sentenced to 30 months in prison for artificially inflating the price of subprime mortgages, a financial product at the very heart of Wall Street's unraveling. Okay, they say, let's see, did anyone go to jail? Although the crisis grew out of big banks handling mortgage-backed securities, no Wall Street executives went to jail for it. We wanted to answer your question and find out why no bank executive went to jail after the financial crisis. Okay. No financial executive. Okay. They said that 35 bankers were sent to prison for the financial crime. When was this? TARP funds. Don't know, man. Just getting conflicting stories out here. 35 bankers. This is under Janet Yeltsin, so this is something else, totally different. Yeah, this is something totally different. Yep. So, anyway, man, but this man went to jail for 35 years for stealing $50. They, this article in CNN Business, it says that the idea that no bankers went to prison for crimes related to the financial crisis is a myth, according to the watchdog overseeing the federal government bailout fund. There have been 35 bankers sentenced to prison, said Christy Goldstein Romeo, the special inspector general for the TARP, Troubled Assets Relief Program, in a report to Congress on Thursday. This is in 2016. Wow. More than $400 billion in TARP funds were distributed to banks that were in danger of failing during the financial crisis. Whoa. But still, what CEOs went to jail? They said there's one CEO, a guy named Edward Woodward, former CEO of the Bank of Commonwealth in Norfolk, Virginia, was sentenced to 23 years in jail when he was convicted of hiding $800 million in past due loans and making loans to straw borrowers to hide financial problems at his bank. Whew, these are all small banks, man. These aren't the Wall Street guys. And that's what we're talking about. How many Wall Street guys went to jail? These are small. These small potatoes. 800 million. Small. Not even a billion. They say there were very big players in the states where they were based. Top executives are also called too big to fail. None of those dudes went to prison. None of those dudes went to jail. That's what we're talking about here. Interesting how they, changed the ball game around. Well, nobody really went to jail. No Wall Street executives went to jail. The guys out in the hinterlands, like in Norfolk, Virginia, went to a jail. Okay. Interesting. Amazing. It's just amazing to me. I love it. I love this stuff. I can't tell you how much I love this stuff. It's right down my pipeline, right down my soft spot. Speaking of which, I got to get back in that gym today and work on those soft spots. New York Times had a couple of stories that, I want to run over real quick. The one story. Oh man, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around this. Trump came out with some new a new policy about military people overseas and their children, and how the children would not automatically be U.S. citizens if they were born outside of the U.S. to parents who were nationalized. So let's see here. So young Chinese spend like Americans and take on worrisome debt. Oof. You guys don't want to do that. Because I read the story first thing this morning. Oh, man. Okay, so let's see here. I can't find that story. I've read the story first thing this morning. I don't have the paper in here with me. But they were like, okay, so if you're born overseas to naturalized parents, you're not automatically a citizen. Uh-oh. Chicago, Wall Street Journal, Chicago. Mayor faces huge budget shortfall. Mayor Lori Lightfoot, in a historic election victory, is about to be put to the test as she faces nearly a $1 billion budget hole. Well, yeah, ever think about laying off some people at City Hall that aren't doing any damn thing? The answer is absolutely not. Because they're voters. They're going to go vote for me. Man, I tell you, this is still a patronage town. Don't let anybody fool you. Okay? I'm going to, in fact, I'm going to end the show on this particular story. And Lori Lightfoot's little fallout. Lori Lightfoot's $1 billion deficit. Ooh. You can't make this stuff up, people. You can't make this stuff up. Lori Lightfoot, see, she didn't have any competition to begin with when she was running against Tony Predwinkle. And Tony kind of tore her butt when she supported Kim Fox, who used to work for her. So anyway, they say on Thursday evening, Miss Lightfoot, who in May became the first Black woman and first gay mayor of Chicago, plans to lay out a vision for tackling the city's long-standing fiscal crisis. Woo! The Lightfoot administration has identified a budget gap of $1 billion for 2020, according to people familiar with the matter. Yeah, it's, so they're going to raise taxes, of course. We have some of the highest property taxes in the country, highest sales tax in the country. And this is about, they said this is about a much anticipated speech by a mayor in decades. This is what Lawrence Mashal says of the Civic Foundation, a business-backed city watchdog. Said the mayor does not have an easy, politically attractive path forward, which is true. She's going to piss off everybody, but she'll be all right. They said this, despite a thriving downtown and a prosperous north side, the city's population has been shrinking for years. And it has the largest unfunded pension liability of any major city. Wow. Having won all 50 wards in April's election, the mayor now faces unpopular choices. Of course she does. So she's going to enact a hiring freeze. She enacted it last week, actually. And she supports building a casino in Chicago to help raise revenue, but that won't be done for years. But there are taxes on casino operators under a new state law that appears to have dimmed that possibility of putting a new casino in Chicago because of the taxes that our governor has put on us. Because you just tax the people. If you need something, you just take their money. You go to the people and you take their money because it's not their money. It's the state's money. It's the city's money. It's our money. See, you got a taste of Chicago with Barack Obama's president. You know, it's spend, spend, spend other people's money. Chicago has a large pension liability. It's $41.7 billion, according to a 2017 analysis by Moody's. I had tried to talk to them about doing a deal using insurance to fund the unfunded liability, but that's something else. Lightfoot's predecessor, Rahm Emanuel, tried cutting back on some of the city's most expensive borrowing practice and raising revenue through higher property and other taxes. Like, taxing you for a paper bag, 7-8%, 7 cents a bag. Horrible. They said Lightfoot will have to find new revenue sources in the city, but there aren't any because people are leaving. And people are leaving in droves. People are going down to Florida. They're going to cross the border to Indiana, or they'll go across the border to Wisconsin. And life is great. I would go to Indiana because Indiana is free, man. It's like free. It's like you can buy guns and you can, you have your own stuff. You don't have the government on your back like in Wisconsin and Illinois. Wow. Okay, well, looks like we are near the end of the show. And what we're going to do is wrap up things here. And Miss Lightfoot, though, she has her hands full. There's no question. She is going to move to increase taxes, but it's not going to work. She has little support for increasing taxes. And one of my good friends over at the Illinois Policy Institute is Adam Schuster, and he's a free market guy. He said instead of raising taxes, Lightfoot should pursue an amendment to the state's constitution that would allow her to renegotiate future pension payments to unions. Persistent problems with gun violence is also driving people out of the city. Whew. I can tell you one thing, folks. It's bad. It certainly is bad here. And it's going to get worse. It ain't getting no better. Notice I didn't say it's not. I said it ain't getting no better. So look, enjoy the rest of your day. We're going to enjoy the rest of our day here in Chicago, here at Red State Talk Radio and iHeart. Hope you have a great day. Let's see here. Let's put on a little music and exit stage right. Let's see if we can do this. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Tune in. We'll get it done. Charles Butler, The Reality Check. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, yeah. So we're still streaming out there. We're still streaming live and still have a few people out there watching. Oh, boy. Tell your friends, folks. Those of you who are out there, tell your friends to tune in. Say Barack Obama hired bankers to work in the White House. Yeah, he did. Oh, man, you got to love this stuff, You got to love this stuff. Anyway, folks, look, take care. Tune in again tomorrow. Love you. Dun, 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 dun. Don't. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.